Okay, for some reason I can't. Okay, so today we'll need a pencil towards the end. And then this is what the balloon looks like today. I made it in printer paper, so nice and white. And then I also made it in some purple wrapping paper. So you see what it looks like. So we're starting out with an 8.5 by 8.5 piece of paper. And if you have color on one side, then you want to put the color face down and the white face up. And the first fold we're going to do, which I think every one of our origami so far has been this way, is we fold the paper diagonally. So we're going to put this tip matched up with this tip as best as possible, realizing that not all of our papers are exactly square. And then we want to pull that down from the middle and then push your fingers out to either side from the center. Okay, and then you can just reinforce that with your nails or your fingers if you don't have long nails. And then we're going to open it up, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other perpendicular ends. So put this tip to the other tip. And then again, pull your finger down the center, and then from the center, push to the edges with your finger, and just reinforce that again. And then you want to open up the paper, and you're going to flip it over so that the color side is facing up. And now we're going to do a familiar fold. We're going to fold it in half horizontally, so this end is going to be matched up with this end as best as possible. And it's a little easier if you do have different colored paper because you can see if you're lined up. If it's the same color, it's a little more challenging. So line it up as best as you can, and pull down the middle, and from the middle, just push your finger out to the edges. And you can use that with your nail as well. Then we're going to open that up and do the exact same thing in the perpendicular direction. So now we're going to put this edge up to this edge. And pull down from the center, and then push out to the edges. And just reinforce that again. So for those of you who've done the class before, this should be pretty familiar. And then the base we're using today that we just did the folds for is also should be pretty familiar. So we're going to open up. And now what we're going to do is pop like our fingers underneath the paper like this so that you can see the natural kind of a pyramid that forms. And so you're just going to kind of squish these together so that you have a triangle. So I'll do it one more time in case anyone's having trouble. So really, because of the folds we made, all you've got to do is put your middle finger, pop it up in the middle of the paper, and you already get this thing kind of standing for you as a little bit of a pyramid. And so all you're going to be doing is closing it in and then folding it down so that you get this nice triangle. I think it might be an isosceles triangle. So now you just want to make these creases again, and what you'll notice is that even though we made these pre-creases, things don't line up perfectly. So what you might want to do is just take your finger, roll it down, move your hand over to what you just did, and then just crease over up here, and then flip it around and crease again over here. And you might notice that, oops, you know, it's not creasing in the same exact place as your original creases. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. So, the next thing we're going to do is you can see that these little flaps here are nice and loosey-goosey, and you've got them underneath. So there's 2 flaps on the right side, 2 flaps on the left side. I think you're seeing a mirror image, so I apologize. So what you're going to do is take the first flap, take this little tip, and what you're going to do is put it up to this tip. And so that means that this edge is going to be matching this edge, or lining up with that edge. So we're going to do this, and do a nice crease here. And then we're going to do the other side. And again, match this edge with the center edge. And try to get it lined up at the tip. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. And get that crease going. So now we've got one side done. Sorry, I'll take my hands away so you can see it a little better. So now we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So you've got the loosey side. You're going to put this tip up to this tip, or this edge up to the center hold. And just crease it really well. And do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And so now you just want to position it so that you've got the 2 little flappies on the bottom. Okay, everyone caught up? So now we're going to be putting this tip to the center. So is it going to be the exact center? Maybe not, but just do the best you can. And we're basically going to crease that. So I'll put it up here so you can see it a little better. That's what it looks like. And then same on the other side. Put this tip to the center and match it to this other tip. Okay. So this is what it looks like. Oops. This is what it looks like when you're done with both sides. So we're going to do the same on the other side. So we'll flip that over and put this tip over to the center. And the nice thing here is you've already done one, so you can line up this edge with this edge so it's symmetrical. And crease it really well. And then same on the other side. And crease it really well. So now we've basically got this structure here. So the next thing we want to do is this end is all attached to each other. This end is nice and floppy. What we're going to do next is we're going to take this tip and put it over here. So we're basically lining up this edge with this edge. And crease that well. And then you're going to do the same exact thing on this side. So you're taking this edge and matching it up with this edge. So we got both of those creased well. Then we're going to take one of the sides, and we're going to fold this over. So essentially, this edge is just going to be folded right over onto the edge of the other fold. Do that on this side, and then do the same thing on this side. Just flip this puppy over, like that, and then crease it well. Okay. Okay, so then we're just gonna put this back down. Now we did these folds because now what we're gonna do is use our handy dandy pencil, and you can see if you lift this up, it's folded in half. What we want to do is stick our pencil in there. If you had long nails, that would work too. I don't have long nails, so you're basically sticking your pencil in there. You see that? So now we popped it open, and what we're going to do with that open is push this in there with your finger. It's kind of like a pocket for the paper. And then just push it down. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. So this other side has a folded paper. Stick your nail if you can, or your pencil in there. And then you're taking that little flap of paper you folded and just push it right in there. And once you got it in there, we can just reinforce that fold. Flip it over. So we're doing the same thing, the little flappy edges. We're going to take this edge and match it up with this edge over here. We'll do that. And fold it. Increase it. Same thing on the other side. We're going to match up this edge with this edge. Increase it. And then we're going to do one more fold, where we're folding it over against the existing folded paper. Increase that. It's a little hard to see once it gets smaller. And then again on the other side, just fold it over. Increase that. Okay. Then we're just undoing that last fold we did on both sides, and we're going to look for that little pocket. So we got a pocket on one side. Try to get it open. Try to get it open with that pencil. Get that open with the pencil, and then pop the paper right inside its pocket. And then, oops. And then just push down on it to kind of crease it. Then open up the other side. Ooh. Got that open. And then push the paper in there in the pocket and press. And so again, you can just crease over this. Get it nice and secure. Now you're going to be surprised. We're actually almost done. So basically, if you look, you see we've got one side that doesn't have any folds on it, and then this side we just finished, another side with no folds, and then this side with the folds. And this side basically is all attached to each other, except for just a little hole. So you can see this is definitely attached. This one has a little bit of a hole you can kind of see. What you want to try to do here is stick your pencil in that hole, just a little bit, maybe rub it around. And then, without getting any lead poisoning, I wish I could video this so you could see me blowing up, but you're going to stick your mouth in there and blow while you're just holding it gently at the edges. Let's see. So you're basically blowing up the balloon. So yeah, so it's kind of fun. You could make a bunch, like you could even try making some in smaller, like with smaller paper, like maybe 5 by 5 inch, and make all different sizes, and you'd have like a nice little, thing on your shelves, decorative thing. Might be good for. It might even make for a good ornament, for
Uh-huh.
a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
You could attach a little hook. So